myself on a first date, I'm a step. I'm dressed, I'm smelling good, I'm looking good. I want to see where we're going, what type of atmosphere you put me in, all that type of stuff. But like I said before, I have acted up on my first date on accident. Oh man, I was having fun, and it took a turn. I ruined the first date myself. It wasn't even the guy, it was me. It was me. But we went on the second date. So I guess I did. In my opinion, when I look back at it, I'm like, girl, no, you could have acted better. But I never ran anybody off. The first date turned to a second, the second date turned into a third, then it turned into this years later. I do think first dates are important, really, because you kind of getting that first time to really chill with someone or talk to them, besides maybe those text messages or, a couple of phone calls. You're face to face with this person now. So you guys can really, cut all the BS, and you can kind of feel that person's energy, all those type of things. So, first dates are important. I think it's nice to, make sure you're presentable, all those things. But tell me what you think about getting past the first date. Once you smash, are you thinking like, oh yeah, that's me? Yeah, that's what it is. Like, and he shouldn't be giving that eggplant to nobody else.
I feel like it depends on how good it is. I feel like if it's like A1, like if everything's great, like the chemistry is great and he's fine and and he knows what he's doing, then I'm basically contemplating at this point, like, what do I need to do to like lock this down, right? But I have been in situations where like you thought everything was gonna be good, and then it's like, woo, newsflash, like the person needs some work in a couple of areas. And like, I think when it's a situation like that, it's almost like the clock is winding down. I'm like, I'm not really one to like just cut it off. I'm just like not like that. I guess it goes both ways. Like if it's great, I'm like, oh, the tourist in me is coming out. I'm ready to lock it down. Like, baby, what we doing? And if it's terrible, yeah, then I'm like planning my exit secretly. You know what I'm saying? Probably unbeknownst to the other person, I'm sure. And people always talk about the fact that like you can tell a person that they're not doing something correctly or if they need to work on something. But in my experience, I feel like it could improve, but a lot of times it's kind of like if you have to say it, it's like a 50-50 thing. Like sometimes it's just like not gonna change. Like there's just nothing they can do, and it just is what it is. And I think a lot of that has to do with chemistry. What do you think about it?
I think chemistry is big. Because especially when you're dating someone, you want the chemistry to be there. And now that you guys have introduced being intimate, like, what if the chemistry is not that strong when you guys, like, what if you guys are on a date and it's going well, everything, you guys done went on multiple dates now, you passed the, the quote unquote the 90 days, all that, you guys now have started doing whatever, but what if it's whack? What if I don't want to have to teach you nothing. I feel like you need to already come to me knowing what you're doing, and I feel like someone should have already taught you. So by the time you get to me, you need to already be ready to do what you have to do, because I'm not about to waste my time and sitting here trying to teach you something like that you should have learned. I feel like when I'm dating somebody and they don't know what they're doing, like you said, I'm kind of planning my exit, and I'm gonna have to start a couple arguments, and I'm gonna have to get those emergency phone calls. I have to text my girl, like, call me in 10 minutes and say something, and then I'm gonna get that call. Oh my God, girl, what? I gotta go. Like, I'm gonna definitely tell my exit, because I don't want to teach nobody nothing, and I know things can be worked on, but you don't have to teach me nothing. So I feel like I'm the full package. You don't got to teach me nothing. But now, if he knows what he's doing, then now, like you said, I may be trying to figure out how to lock this down, because then you're talking about all kind of other situations, because you got to worry about your health and all that type of stuff too, because you don't want to be dealing with somebody and now you're intimate with that person, and then you're worried about if they're intimate with somebody else, and then you're thinking about your health, or like, don't bring me back nothing stuff, situations like that, so yeah, it definitely makes it a little bit more serious for me. Yeah. Especially if the person's really feeling you, they are not going to want to share you, man or female. They're just not going to want to share that. So I think it does take it to the next level and makes it a little bit more serious. Now, does it mean like you guys are just committed to each other? That's a conversation y'all need to have.
I had this conversation with a friend of mine that I used to date like a really long time ago, and we like ran into each other and we were just like catching up. It was like one of those things where they ask you like, are you dating anybody? Are you seeing anybody? And we happened to have a conversation about the last person that I was like dating and talking to. And it was interesting because we were newly dating, and I like went out of town for my birthday. You know how you're dating somebody, like you've been on multiple dates with this person. Maybe you talk to the person every day or every other day. You guys check in all the time. They're calling you like on your breaks and your lunches at work and like those kinds of things. You're seeing them on the weekends and all that when you're off. And it's like you're in that space where you're like spending a lot of time together, but you haven't quite made that commitment to each other. So that's kind of like where we were. And I remember I was like going out of town for my birthday, and I'm like, let's just kind of chill for a minute. And I remember he was like, wait, what? I was like, I'm not saying that I'm just gonna, be out there just meeting people or mingling or whatever, but I felt like we have been spending a pretty decent amount of time together and getting to know each other very well, and everything was going great, and he like treated me great and everything, but he wasn't quick to like set that intention of like where things were gonna go next. And I kept thinking about that. It was more so like, let me just be free and single and enjoy myself and have a good time. I wanted to see like while we were separate from each other, because we were talking so much and spending so much time together, like, am I going to feel any differently when, you're way over there and I'm, in a completely different location, and, maybe we're not checking in as much, we're not talking as long. So I said that, and I just was like, we'll check in, but like maybe not, the everyday conversations, and like just know, I kind of just want the space to just enjoy my birthday with my girls, have a good time, and then we'll tap back in, And when I came back, the way that it ended was he had started seeing somebody else. And I was happened to be telling my friend about how this last situation ended. And he was like, you told him that? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, just picture this. He's like, I'm your guy. I'm seeing you and I'm getting ready to go out of town. Like I'm going to Vegas or something. And I call you up and I'm like, the guys just got here and, sorry, babe, but we're not going to talk for a couple of days. I'm just going to be out here doing my thing in Vegas. And like, I'll check in with you when it's like time for me to get on the flight and come home. Well, my friend was saying like men and women read that very differently. But how do you feel about, something like that happening if you're dating somebody?
You wouldn't have told me nothing like that and expected you got to go out of town and not talk to me for a few days. Like, what? Like, I would have been feeling the same way too. Like, man, listen, you finna go out of town and you're not gonna talk to me for a few days. You like Donnell Jones now? You trying to see where you want to be, or like what are we doing? I'm not gonna hold you. I would have did the same thing as your man friend, and when you came back, I would have had me another friend. like what? So you mean to tell me you're about to go? We talk all the time. We spend time together. We've been dating. Everything's going good. You're about to go on vacation and not talk to me for a few days. That is not going down with me. I would have felt the same way. Like, so basically what you're saying is you want to break up and we're not even together. Like you're gonna go I can't even imagine someone saying that to me because no, what? No. Then when you get back, I'm like, don't call me. Like, no. And if I was to say that to someone, I don't feel like I really would consider them like someone that I really want to be with, because if I'm on vacation and I do have someone that I'm dating and I care about, stuff like that, I'm gonna want to talk to them while I'm gone too.
I wonder, like, to a certain extent, if I was already in a space where I was just like not really sure about the situation, and that's kind of why I wanted to take that space for myself. But the irony of it was, like, after I had the experience of being there for a few days and like kind of just not being truly tapped in, like we talked a couple of times, but we didn't talk like we would normally spend, a couple hours on the phone, things like that. We talked, pretty long, and we didn't do that while I was out of town. But I told him it wasn't really about somebody else. It was just me wanting to go celebrate my birthday by myself, have that space. And like, really, I was testing myself, not like in regards to sex or intimacy, because I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I was testing myself just to see like what my feelings and my emotions were towards the situation, whether I was going to want to, progress with him and things like that, if I was going to miss him while I was gone. And while I was gone, unbeknownst to me, he basically took the opportunity to basically like sort of open up to someone else. You know what I'm saying? And so I like found out about that, and I just was like, we didn't have a long conversation, but he did mention that I told him like I wanted to go out of town and like do my thing.
Like, no, it's not happening. He really told that man that. So, unbeknownst to me, he had another friend. I bet he did. Because I would have had one too. Like, girl, you down bad. Like, all right, player. I have people who care about me, or a person, who cares about me. And if he leaves, he's going to call me. Like, he's going to text me. We're going to talk. We're still going to FaceTime. Now, are we going to be on the phone like heavy like we are usually? No, because you're on vacation, so enjoy yourself, of course. Like, go have fun, but tap in with me though. Like, no, you're not gonna let days go and you're gonna Donnell Jones me.